Good morning, Cubbies and Kings kids. I just want to say hello and welcome you back to another day of online church. The good news is it sounds like we're going to have church pretty soon, possibly June 21st is the date. So Sunday, June 21st, we're hoping to see you guys. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about a story about a guy named Joshua. So I'm going to read you a little story from that same book that I liked before. It's called the Jesus Storybook Bible, and a lot of these stories I feel like give a really good example of what these characters might have been like and what these real people were like in the Bible. So we're going to start our story about a guy named Joshua. If you know anything about him, he had quite the battle to enter. All right, let's begin. Now this is the story of Joshua. After Moses had died, God gave his people a new leader, and his name was Joshua, which means the Lord saved. Now, God's people had been wandering around in a desert for 40 years, so that was a very long time. And once they found where the promised land was, where they were going, they wanted to move into their new home, but there was a city there, and there was a problem. The city was called Jericho. Do you guys see that city? It is huge, and what happened was the people had built huge walls all around the city. You see all those little circles there where people could be on the lookout and they could watch. And when Joshua and all of God's people got there, they thought, what are we going to do? This place has a huge wall around it. Look how tiny God's people are right here. There they are. They're coming and they're going to try to figure out, how do we get in to this big fortress? Now this is what they did. God told them, just wait on me. Just listen to me and I will tell you what to do. So do you see how God's people are around the outside? Okay, so they're all thinking, oh, we're going to go fight these people inside. We can do this. But God said, no, I will always be with you, and I will never, ever leave you. If you do what I say, your lives in the new land will be happy, and everything will go well, okay? God's people were ready. They're ready to fight with their spears and their swords. I bet they had helmets and armor on. I can kind of tell what they're wearing. So Joshua said, okay, let's listen to God. Let's trust him. We're going to walk around the city and see what happens here. Day after day, Joshua and the people walked around the city cheering. They weren't fighting. They didn't have to use their swords, but they walked around the city. Then God said, after you walk around the city, not once, but 7 times, I want everyone to make as much noise as they possibly can. Now imagine almost 40,000 people making as much noise as possible. I think about being in a gym at a basketball game or a football game, and when people cheer and go crazy, how loud it gets. Well, this is what happened. The people yelled, and as it turned out, God made the walls of Jericho fall. They vanished into a cloud of dust, it says. So it was God's people that eventually got to enter their new home. They didn't have to fight to get in. They got in nice and safely. And look at how they can play. They're ready to start living where the people were. God had shown them a way to get in without fighting, and God had said, just trust me. Trust what I'm going to do. What I want to end with, Cubbies, is that when God calls us into something, when he says, Carrie, you have to try to do this. I know that I'm not alone. It's never just me. It's always God with me. And I know that whatever he's calling me into, he is going to walk with me through it. So I have to know in my head and I have to know in my heart that God is going to be with me through this whole thing, and I won't be alone. I don't have to be scared, even though I might feel kind of scared. I know that God is with me through that. I'm not by myself. And I have to trust him, even if he says to do something pretty hard. Or it might be easy. God is going to see, like, what is she going to do in the little things and the big things? Okay, you guys? So be brave cubbies. Be like Joshua. Listen to what God says. Try to follow his word and what he's asking us to do. And that might look like just listening to your parents, or if your sister or brother say stop the first time they ask. Those are the little things that we can do that honor God in our actions and in our words. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we'll get to see you guys maybe in person pretty soon. Have a good day, Cubbies. Bye.